There is so much news, you guys. We have breaking Stranger Things news. But first, a quick reminder about who our Movie House Shout Out Theater of the Week is. The Grand Cinema in Tacoma, Washington. They are going to be playing Men and Downton Abbey, A New Era, so go check them out. But yeah, a bunch of Stranger Things news came out today, including the first 8 minutes of episode 1, and they are terrifying.
10. Peter, Alec, what's going on out there?
Sure, that's the way.
6 and Dr. Ellis. Dead. They're both dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? I mean, don't give anything away, but like, what? Give me some flavor. What are we talking about here?
Like, it's bloody, like it's gory.
Oh, okay.
And the sound design is really vivid, like the whoosh of bicycle tires, or like the sound of Papa tying his tie. It's like it puts you on edge with this really pointed sound design from the very, very beginning. Anyway, so it's gnarly shit goes down. Also, we learned about how they're going to structure both parts of season 4. So you're going to have 7 episodes in the first big chunk, which come out on May 27th. We are not going to watch all 7 of those. We're going to do them 2 at a time.
Not on one day, no.
We're not, much to my child's dismay, who would enjoy sitting on that couch for a long time. But part of it is these episodes are all crazy long. And so it's 7 episodes in the first chunk, and then 2 episodes in the second chunk in early July. And that finale, that season finale, is 2.5 hours long.
Oh, Lord. Okay,
it's all one take.
And all the boys have mustaches now.
They do. So it's a lot. And they're so good about keeping things under wraps. They're so protective of story. So one kind of amusing thing that came out this week was that there's this Monopoly game. There's this Stranger Things season 4 Monopoly game that spoils stuff that goes down. And the Duffer Brothers were pissed.
You always got to be careful with the tie-in merchandise. My favorite example of this is still when Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace came out, and the soundtrack came out a couple of weeks early, and one of the cuts on the soundtrack was the death of Qui-Gon. It was like, what?
What do you mean Qui-Gon dies? So that is out there. But again, like it's such an empire, right? It's so sprawling, all the Stranger Things merch, they can't keep an eye on everything. And I guess they didn't see the Monopoly game, and so
that's somebody's job at Netflix, and who knows, maybe that's one of the several dozen people that Netflix has laid off the last.
I was going to mention that they laid off about 150 people this past week. I think most of them in Los Angeles, so that is happening. Also going on right now is the Cannes Film Festival with all the pomp and splendor. Tom Cruise is back, baby, and he's walking the Croisette, and we got fighter jets with like red and blue smoke streaming out of them, and like extended standing ovations for Tom Cruise.
I always find it weird that like that's a movie that travels, because there is so much USA about the Top Gun franchise in general that like you would think other countries would be like, Americans, but I'm sure like if it sells tickets, they're all excited about it, because everybody wants to get asses back in seats, and that's what they're looking to this movie to do. So
that's what it is. It's like it's a return to cinema, it's a return to a very specific kind of draw, right? Like this is an A-list star in a well-known established property
in a big booming movie that you want to pay extra for D-Box or IMAX or whatever to see it in,
Some kind of inside baseball stuff here with movies. The Academy announced this past week that they're going to once again reinstate the theatrical release as a requirement for consideration for the Oscars, right? So during pandemic times, everyone was trying to scramble to adapt and evolve and make this thing work. They said, okay, you can just stream and that counts. But now they've gone back to the cities that you have to show it in for like at least 4 wallet, as they call it, for like 1 week. It's New York, LA, the Bay Area, Miami, Atlanta, and Chicago.
Gotcha. And, most of the streaming services, if they aren't already studio affiliated, Netflix has the Paris Theater in New York, and they're going to have the Egyptian here in Los Angeles once those renovations are done.
Well, the Bob's Burgers movie is coming out, and that is going to be in theaters. Nick and I went to the premiere this past week, and it was so fun. They gave out little burgers, little tiny impossible sliders on the red carpet, and it was fun to be at the El Capitan and do a fun premiere like that. We'll talk about the Bob's Burgers movie next week. And I think you and I are going to have sort of converse reactions to these things because Downton Abbey and you love it. And I know Bob's Burgers and I love it, and vice versa. We'll get into the conversation about who are these movies made for anyway. That is a really good point. Speaking of movies, the J-Lo documentary's coming out. Are you aware that there is a Jennifer Lopez documentary on Netflix? And who's in it? Me. I am J-Lo's co-star. Do I have to recuse myself because of this?
Just don't blink while you watch the trailer.
There is literally a second of me at the 144 mark at our LA Film Critics dinner where I'm giving her supporting actress award for Hustlers. And I'm watching it sort of like absentmindedly, like, oh, yeah, I know that dress. Oh, wait, that's me. That's me. And so I guess I mean, we have to review it now.
Well, of course. And it pops up in the trailer not long after she says, I'm not doing this to win awards.
I've never been heard. No one ever saw me. We see you, Jennifer.
That's right.
We at the LA Film Critics, we see you. Also, the Bros trailer came out this week. I know that you're excited about that. It looks really cute.
The red band. Yeah. I'm glad that that Universal's already giving a big push to this. Obviously, we're heading into Pride Month. And so like a lot of people will be talking about Fire Island. There's going to be, a lot of cities are having their parades. I suspect Billy Eichner is marching in a lot of parades this year, just a hunch. But yeah, this is a big deal movie. It's this is a queer rom-com that is being put out by a major studio and not by like the indie division of a major studio. Like Fire Island is coming from Searchlight, which is great, but like this is big Universal, like Fast and the Furious Universal is putting out Bros. And
produced by Judd Apatow, directed by Nicholas Stoller.
Yeah, and Stoller co-wrote it with Billy Eichner, and Luke McFarlane are the leads, and the entire cast is LGBTQ actors, including the straight roles, which is pretty great. And it's a funny trailer. I mean, I've definitely learned the hard way not to put too much stock in trailers, but there's a lot of funny jokes in it, and it feels like it's going to be very unapologetically queer in a lot of ways, which I'm sure straight audiences will just deal with or they won't.
No, I'm psyched. That comes out September 30th. It looks really fun. Also, a show that I know are a big fan of and want to talk about here, and we will, is Heartstopper.
Yes, has
been renewed for what, two more seasons,
yes. Second and third, so that just got announced today. Very excited about that. That's been like not only really I think well received, but like one of the more sort of talked about online shows, or whoever does the metric for that kind of thing was saying that it in terms of social media chatter and stuff, it's been like going through the roof. So not surprised.
I will catch up with that, and we will do that on our Patreon one of these days for sure. The She-Hulk trailer came out. That looks fun. This is a thing that I don't know a whole lot about, but I know you said it seems true to the cheeky nature of the comic book.
Yeah, the comic book's always been very, intentionally funny. I don't know if it's always been a thing, but for a lot of it, she seemed aware that she was in a comic book and did a lot of fourth wall breaking. So it looks like that the show, I don't know if it's going to necessarily go that far with it, but they definitely are having some fun with it. This is meant to be a lighter thing, but still very much part of the MCU. Mark Ruffalo pops up as Professor Hulk, is that what they call the smarty version? So yeah, and Tatiana Maslany's great, so high hopes. We'll see what happens.
We will talk about that on our Patreon. That launches on August 17th. The Wonder Twins movie is now not happening, so form of nothing, shape of no one. There's no Wonder Twins movie.
However, the Wendy and Marvin movie just got fast tracked, so
what are they gonna do with all those buckets of water that the Eagles are supposed to carry? What's gonna happen to those? There was like a whole production budget for them.
We have all this ice; it's gonna melt.
Then finally, some sad news: Vangelis died at age 79. Legendary composer Vangelis.
Yes, did the immortal Chariots of Fire theme. Also, of course, the original Blade Runner score. Super talented. Very definitely made a mark on the cinema.